It's officially autumn. Garden is still going strong though. Oh. This, awesome size. If you're growing courgettes, when they're this size, they're quite firm. They're awesome, just chop them up and put them through things, fabulous. However, if you don't get in there quickly, they change fast. Trust me on this one, in the space of a few days, they can go from that to that. These are mostly water, so not as good for just chopping up and kind of putting through your bits and pieces, but these ones usually end up going through the spiralizer and becoming spaghetti, because there's not much else you can do with them. Problem is, things hide under all the leaves, so you miss them very easily because the leaves and the stems are really spiky, so I hate having to go through here and rummage. Ow, very spiky. See what I mean? So as you can see, courgettes have been a roaring success this year. Even if I am getting, I don't know if you call it stung when it's courgettes. They've got little bristles. It feels like being stung. And I feel like I get stung to hell every time I do this. Some really weird ones. If you miss them, they sit in the ground or whatever, they can get eaten by something and then it starts to rot. So that's for the compost. The other success this year My other happy success this year has been my carrots. I've got orange and purple. I always find the purple ones are purple haze. They're an F1, and I always find these are my best carrots. I get more of these than I get any of the others. I have had so many carrots and quite big this year. They've come on a lot faster than usual. It's not to say they're not attractive though. They're all these kind of weird things. Oops, I've just snapped that one. I just need a few for going in tea tonight. So we were just saying, carrots have been an awesome success this year. And they're one of those things that I don't seem to be able to guarantee and control every year. Some years it's really good, other years it's not. And I can only put it down to the fact that we sow carrots out into the beds. And the weather here, we can have the most abysmal springs. Everything gets so late in getting started. So even the years that I've been successful with carrots, they haven't been big. They've been okay, but they haven't been big. This year the carrots have come on really quickly, and I put it down to this. This was the only change I have ever made to my carrots. So I'm still growing the Purple Haze F1 hybrids. And what I did different this year was I sowed them directly into these. These are root trainers. You don't normally use these for carrots. But what it let me do was it let me get them established in the greenhouse at the same time as folk elsewhere were getting theirs established, because that's the thing. Take this bit of advice from me. When you watch these YouTube channels and you read the blogs about gardening, make sure that you know where that gardener is and how it relates to you, because even our TV show, we've got Gardener's World, a TV show that's really popular throughout the whole of the UK. It doesn't really relate to me though, because it's filmed down in the south of England and the weather there is completely different. Their seasons are completely different. We have Beech Grove, which is my favourite because it relates to me, so I watch that a lot. I recommend it, it's awesome. But this is something that let me sow carrots at the time when folk in the southeast of England are sowing carrots, and put them in the greenhouse and let them come on. And by the time I was happy with the weather to put my carrots out, they had established themselves in these, and it was a case of taking the single individual carrot plugs, now they were, and putting them out. So I think this is why. Really chuffed with this. It's just to be, it's nothing, it's really dodgy, cheap plastic. I'll probably break it, try to show you it. So it's just these individual pods, and I can put a propagator lid on them and then leave them in the greenhouse. It was awesome. And for those of you who have never seen these before, because I know a lot of you guys are beginner gardeners, because let's be honest, you're not going to follow my YouTube channel if you know what you're doing. It's just that. So you put them together, they clip together, you fill that with soil and you sow your seed, plants, whatever in there, and it gives a nice long canal for the roots to grow. It's nice and straight and giving you a nice straight healthy plant. And then you can open it up, you've got access to your plug plant for putting out. So yeah, so it's a shame they're so cheap and nasty. I don't think they'll last many seasons. So there we go. Carrots, awesome success. In the greenhouse, quite happy in here. Like I say, I've told you guys before, we had the issue because I planted too many bush varieties and it just wasn't enough space for it. But apart from that, really quite chuffed. As you can see, everything is looking stripped back to the skeleton at the moment because it's now September. In fact, it's nearly October, so we're now in autumn, and I'm only going to get another maybe 3 to 4 weeks of this season, and after that, nothing else is going to ripen in here. So basically, the things you see on the plants just now, I think will be okay. Any new stuff coming on, basically will be no use to me. So any of the branches on any of these plants that weren't bearing fruit, I've taken back because they're just taking up space and they're taking up nutrients for the plants. I want the plants to focus on the fruit that it's got just now so I can get as much as I can before the end. However, this year I'm actually, courgettes, I'm all itchy now. Normally I'm quite depressed by this time of year because it's the end of the season, winter's coming, nothing happens over winter, it's just horrible. But I'm actually feeling quite upbeat this year because I've got some plans for the greenhouse for overwintering, so I'm going to reset up my staging once everything's passed, so it's probably going to be in about 3 or 4 weeks, and bring my hydrangeas in so that they can be overwintered because they do not do well up here because of the Scottish winters and the frosts are terrible, and they tend to burn all the new buds off all the hydrangeas every year, so they just don't do well. So yeah, I'm going to bring all them in, and my plan for next year I'm so excited about. I'm going to reduce the quad grows. So I'm not going to have 2, and I'm going to have 1 set of staging up all the time. Excuse me, stop chewing my plants. Go on. The cats think this is a salad bar. I'll show you the damage they've done in a second. So what was I saying? Yes, I'm going to have 1 set of staging up, and I'm going to use it to bring on flowers for the garden because I'm getting sick of putting flowers out when they're not ready to go out and they just don't do anything. So looking forward to that. So yeah, I better get these in. So let's San Marzanos, awesome, looking brilliant, well happy. No more blossom end rot. Jalapenos, quite happy with those too. Yeah, so getting these in. This is stuff me harvesting for tonight's dinner. Going to have a bit of a vegetable stew tonight. There's one I missed. So yeah, homemade bread and a bit of a veggie stew stroke ratatouille type thing going on. I say stroke, it's not a proper one, but yeah. So yeah. So I'm going back indoors. Look, red, it's getting there. So excited. Sunflowers have been awesome this year as well. Can't really show you them because obviously you've got the sky, but to give you an idea, let me just try and give you an idea here. Hang on. I'm 5 foot tall. I reckon easily These ones aren't too bad, so 5 foot tall. Nice. These are my small ones. Look at this beastie. Easily 14, 15 foot. Little tiny one. And it's autumn. All the leaves are changing. So there we go. Very quick. It's autumn. There's the garden. Off to make dinner.